All right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Man.
Luke, we get that crack counter going, boys. Luke's
Crack
a
counter
little
going to be going
sick.
crazy with Luke got a cold, but hey, the show must go on.
Show must go on. So we're going to do a little intro first. We do have a special guest, like we mentioned before. Wirt. Wirt is here today.
Yep.
So we get a big, a bunch of hard-hitting questions here. We have planned for them. So we just wanted to. I'm still here. I will be behind the camera. I'll have my own mic. So Luke and I will be kind of asking questions. We'll do some matchups real quick for the two games that matter. But we'll get this going. So yeah.
Soundstrap. Gonna get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone. Soundstrap. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything.
That
All
picture's
right.
got to go. That picture's got to change. If I'm commissioner, we'll have to change the intro. That's old. It's just out of date. I just want everything to be up to date,
okay.
working
Okay.
correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make sure that those especially for next year. Now that we're wrapping up, we'll make sure that
There's
the
no
intro
need.
video is
old.
is
I mean,
better. But
we've all been working out.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Some of us.
I took my shirt off right now, I mean, it'd be totally different. Totally different.
Actually, that's what we want. Let's see it. Let's see
Yeah.
it.
that's what this whole thing is
Actually, you know what that would be? That wouldn't be very commissioner-like. I mean, how many times have you seen Paul with his shirt off?
That's true. That's a good point. Matt, hey, we're excited to have you.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. You've come after the media a little bit.
The
saying that we
media's
haven't
come after
supported-
me, I think, but we'll get into that. We'll talk
Well,
about that.
We're glad to have you. It's finally good. Let's get started. I mean, first, let's do matchups.
Yep, we'll get into matchups first.
That's a staple.
We'll do the same like Luke and I pick, and then we'll get your input as well.
Yeah.
We're only doing two of the relevant games this week since Paul and Sean are both on bye. So we'll just kind of jump right into there. I don't know if my mic is actually on.
Okay. First matchup is, man, my voice. God dang.
Great.
I'm about to have
That's
to
awesome.
just tell Wirt to take over. First matchup is Luke with Shelley's Revenge versus Cole. All right. Wirt, give me your opinion. Do you know the teams? I mean,
I don't know the teams. I didn't know I was going to be picking. I didn't even know I was going to be on the show today. But who are the Dolphins playing?
Houston Texans.
Houston Texans. Where in Houston?
I'll get that.
This is what I'll say about Luke's team. Cole's team's really a non-factor. I think they're going to score what they're going to score. I'm predicting a score of 120 for Cole. I think he's going to do a little better than projected. Don't know the matchups. Haven't looked at the teams. Luke's team lives and dies how the Dolphins play.
That is true.
They are playing at Houston at noon on Sunday.
But I think I'm going Luke. I'm taking Luke.
You're taking
I'm
me?
taking Luke. Yeah, I'm taking Luke. I think the Dolphins are going to do pretty
So
well.
right now, that
Okay.
is a little bit outdated. Those projections right now, percentage-wise, it's still the same. 56% Luke, 44% Cole. Right now, Luke has 0 points after a zero burger from Cooper Kupp, and then 18.4 points from Cole. That's mostly coming from Puka. So
What Juwan Jennings do for Cole?
Juwan Jennings had 4.1 points. The 49ers absolutely sucked. There were 0 touchdowns scored in that game.
Honestly, I know Cooper Kupp gave me 0, but it could have been worse for me. I honestly thought Puka and Juwan Jennings could have destroyed my butthole.
Yeah.
But then they didn't. I hate that Kupp just ran sprints all game.
I saw a stat. He ran 2.5 miles.
I read that same stat. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Cole to win, though. I don't like my team. I think they're a bunch of
So you think you're done?
Yeah,
You
you
think
do
your
have a
season
soft
ends?
team. I
Yeah,
think
my
if
team's
softest
soft.
team, Luke's for
Sharman.
sure. I mean, Luke's consistently projected like 150 points.
Exactly. That's what
and
pisses
he'll
me
score
off.
an 80
It
burger.
pisses me off. My
Every
team's
time.
projected 150. Like,
No.
everybody looks at my team, they're like, good God, he's about to go in.
And then
they put
never.
up 75 points. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Frustrates the heck out of me.
Yeah. For having such a good team, I mean, you've had to chug a few times.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know Luke's other than when who got injured. Oh, when Tua got hurt and your team really tanked.
Oh, yeah.
Other than like the first 2 weeks of that, you've been like projected to win. I think every
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
and then
And
you
it's
know.
look at my record.
Or you do, or you go off. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
your team's
But
gone.
honestly, I don't go off as much as you would think.
I mean,
with
you,
the team
you
I
beat
have.
Dan 2 weeks ago by
And
like
I used all
85.
of it. Like,
yeah,
I just-
yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as bad. We'll just add the shameless plug in here as the I actually did the research on this one again. Went back through league history. The third highest score ever. Do you know who has the first? So 182 points
Is the third highest?
that Cody put on me.
Dang. I would have thought it'd be more than that.
Yeah.
I know I've dropped some 220s in my day.
100. Well, the highest ever scored.
We're
Anybody
about
like
to fact check. We're
Anybody
fact
like to
checking
take,
right now.
Anybody would like to take a guess?
205.
205. Actually, it was lower.
What?
100. 100.
I can prove this.
195.
This is the media again. This is the corrupt media.
It was worked in 2020, but it was
Okay,
195
thank you.
points.
Thank you. I dropped a 220 on someone one time.
I did only go back to 2020, so I saw the 195. I was like,
Well,
surely.
The league, so I don't know
I
when that
swear.
Granted, you weren't in the league very often. So,
The league. We can talk about that. I do want to talk about why my exit from the league.
yeah. Okay.
But,
Ooh, okay.
however, that year when I had Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry,
That was the
CeeDee
195.
Lamb, Cooper Cup, that was
the
195.
195 points.
I thought it was 2 something. Okay. All right,
And
whatever. I'm not going to fact
I think
check it.
Dan actually put up 185, so I think he was second.
Shout out to Dan. I don't think I've ever beat him in this league. Doesn't matter what my team is, what his team is.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
So
Legend.
So
I
you
can't
have
believe-
Cole. You have,
Me.
and he has. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I try not to bet against Luke. I mean, his team is good, but again, I think this could have gotten out of hand for you. Johnny Smith has been balling, and I think you kind of
Yes.
might have to rely on him.
He has been
Are you
balling.
playing? Are you going to play
Except
Brees
when he
Hall?
wasn't.
I heard he's good to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Brees Hall if he's playing.
I got you then.
I'm gonna play Brees if he's in. He plays the freaking Jaguars.
Yeah, I got you. Let's see, and then so the
He'll
next
probably get
one.
hurt his wiener.
Next one,
Three
and so
plays
this is
in.
the only other game that we have going because, like I said, Sean and Paul are both on buys. We've got Jared and Colby as another really good matchup. Let me see where we currently are at. So Colby is 51% chance to win. Obviously, Jared at
this is
49. Jared had nobody play, and then Colby had Kyron, and he got 14.2 points. So does that change your projection?
Who do the Cardinals play?
The Cardinals play.
Is he starting Kyler Murray?
He is starting Kyler Murray and Trey McBride. They play New England, but it's at Arizona at Sunday at 3:25.
I feel like Kyler Murray is not gonna do. I just feel like they might just run the ball.
Yeah.
I feel like he's had a bit of a down season. I'm not the biggest fantasy guy, whatever.
Yeah.
Won the league, been in the championship 3 times, but I don't live and die fantasy, right?
Okay.
Colbert does, and he really wanted Kyler Murray for me. I don't know why,
That's crazy. That was okay.
but I did give him Mike Evans,
Yeah.
and I
Giving
did.
Mike Evans was good. Giving
Jaden
Jaden
Daniels.
Daniels.
I wasn't quite sure.
I was
on that
happy
trade.
with that.
Yeah, no.
And then he went off. He scored me like 30 points.
Yeah, he's a solid quarterback.
Yeah.
I'd be more worried about Colby's team with Jaden Daniels. I'm still going Colby here. I think Jared's team may be on the downturn a little bit.
Let's see. I mean, DeAndre Swift's questionable. Let me see his reports. He did not practice Friday. That does not bode well for
That
him
doesn't bode
playing.
well.
He's got him in the starting lineup. Who would his backup be? Ray Davis, maybe? No, James. He would put James Conner in, and then so he'd probably put in a different receiver. I might have to lean away from that. Lad McConkey's questionable for Colby. He was listed as questionable.
Yeah, I think Lab McConkey's playing.
He had an LP on today, so
He's gonna play. I think.
I think I got Colby on this one.
Who'd you go?
I didn't go anyone. I just had to do a little research there, a little on the spot research. But I am going to, is it both been Colby? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jared sucks. I'm going Colby.
So yeah, that's our matchups, and then we'll keep it going throughout the playoffs. But I think last week I went 4-2. Luke, you went 3-3, I believe.
Okay.
So I'm again catching up a little bit. I don't think there's any way that I can get there, but I'm trying to try to stay above 500. So
Can we look up my record on the picks?
on the picks,
Yeah, I think I'm
we'll
9
check back
and-
next
I think
week.
I'm 9-2. I don't know how many people are even in the league, but I think I'm 9-2.
9-2.
So I just lump it in Americas, which is 35 and 25 is what this is. Yeah. So I guess you're lumped in there pretty solid.
Hey, I mean, America, you can't,
Look,
I mean,
look, Jamike can't play the games necessarily, but he can pick them.
Yeah.
And speaking of Jamike, we were gracious enough. Jamike did send in a video, and he made up for all the chugs that he missed.
Wow.
So he is about to
exciting.
Let's watch
Jamike,
it.
alcohol poisoning after this, but it's for the show. We appreciate it. So we'll go ahead and get into Jamike's predictions as well and his chugs. Thanks, Jamike.
We've come here today to mourn the death of a fantasy football team. In recent weeks, I have realized that I have caught some flack for lack of chug videos. However, I knew that if I was going down, I was going to do it on my terms. And that is with a dangerously high blood alcohol level. So, I will be doing all 3 of my chugs together this week. Before we do that, I will go over some playoff predictions. So, round 1, we have Luke versus Cole. Cole, you were the only person whose team was trash enough to give me a win this year. I would like to thank you for that, but I'm going to have to go with Luke for this one. And then Jared versus Colby. This is actually a pretty close game, I think. I just have to give it to Jared. I think it's only fair, since it's the end of the regular season, that I also give my prediction for who will win the league. And I have to say, this year, I think it's going to Luke. However, anything is possible. So, ooh. The only other one I had left was a sake. Shit, that's a hard can. No chug, but
All right. Well, thank you, Jamike. We appreciate that.
That's
So-
good content.
Yeah, great content. Luke, what do you think about that pick?
That's a kiss of death right there. When the worst team in the league picks you to win the league, y'all should be betting. If you could
Yeah.
put money on my opponent, you should do that.
Yeah.
I am not winning the league. It's over for me. Maybe with a healthy Christian McCaffrey, I have a chance, but it just wasn't in the cards this year.
Yeah.
Who are your running backs without Christian McCaffrey?
Tyrone Tracy, Brees Hall, Devin A. Chain.
Solid.
Now that you're not trying to trade me Tyrone Tracy for Saquon, is he gonna play next year?
You
Like, do
know,
you think he's gonna be a starter next year?
probably not.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But there's
that's
a
what I
chance.
thought, boys.
There's a
Never
chance.
never
There's
accept
a
the first
chance.
offer Luke sends you.
There is a chance.
There's
that
lessons
he
here.
is.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what we're getting on tonight. Okay, we're going a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jamike does make a good point. A healthy McCaffrey doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm glad Jamike came on and put the 3 drinks together. Put to bed this persona that he's not gonna do. You know what he's supposed to do. He does. He's gonna do the punishment.
Yeah.
Missing 2 picks, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
true. but that's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
The
accountability.
main thing is the chugs. I mean, and he took hand up accountability there later on. Jamike, what was that last drink that you did? I want to make sure that I didn't quite hear it in the video. What was that last one? I know the Mick Ultras, those were pretty solid, and also I want to get some ratings for the chugs, like overall.
Yeah, let's get some ratings in there. The chugs.
Solid.
Eli brought up the point that was a bad angle for Jamike's forehead.
Does his forehead have a good angle?
I think
I didn't
Jamike's a
know.
cutie.
Yeah, he's all right.
14%.
Dang.
Gracious.
0 to 10 would not recommend. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move into questions now. So
Yeah, let's get into the work segment.
big time.
Big time.
Ready.
This is gonna be good.
Reddy came up here to hunt, but whatever for the league.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here from Birmingham. Mm-hmm. Paul Sewell lives in Center.
Merry Christmas, everybody. How you doing, work?
Paul Sewell lives in Center.
Hold
and
on,
He's,
hold
and
on.
he's just showing up. He's just showing up.
Hold on just a
I got
second.
hey guys, I brought you some popcorn. It's about to get good, and some donuts.
This is good because I
Work,
thought this could
work,
happen.
I brought you something as well.
This could happen. I
I
thought this
thought
could
that I
happen.
would,
I really,
Oh
I
my
was at Academy.
What better than the commissioner to come tonight?
I thought
babysitter.
this is good. I was prepared for this. I thought this could happen. I also thought about wearing a jacket, but I said no. That's overkill. Obviously compensating for something there. So just natural state. But I'm glad. Good to see you, Paul.
Good to see you too, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Oh my gosh.
Glad you showed up.
What a show do we have tonight?
So we have questions now.
Oh yes.
And so Luke and I are going to kind of take turns. We're both now here behind the mic, or behind the camera, sorry. But we have questions for both of you. We're glad you're here, and we're excited. I'm sure the whole league is excited. Jamike thinks this is an ambush, but hey, look, we're
Props to Paul. There's food. Everything is in. He went to McDonald's.
Hey, let's pull the order out. Let's pull the order
That's
out.
nice. I appreciate it.
I'm
I
trying
will-
to
I
bridge
accept.
the gap here. I'm
Yeah.
trying to bridge the
Okay.
gap. Sorry, my bad.
no, you can angle it up a little bit. Yeah,
So,
bend it right here. There you go.
all right.
Yeah, just
But Paul, if your blood, I notice you're shaking. If your blood sugar is low, you can have that. You can have it. I mean, it's not.
There's no
Yeah, I mean, it's something like just if you're nervous, you can drink. You can have that. It's good.
Oh, here. I need to pull. Let's do this. We're gonna be on main for a while, so let me. We're gonna get this set in just a second. Let's do.
Show went a little different way than we expected tonight.
Yeah.
I think we went over. I've seen Jamike's just all up in the chat. I don't remember him ever being in the chat, but thin necks. We talked about this. Woods Rogers, George Washington, thin neck. Who's the guy in Trafalgar? Paul, help me out here. The guy Horatio Nelson, great leader, thin neck, thick necks. Hitler, Mao, Stalin. So I mean, we haven't had an election in this league ever. So
All right, let's start with just opening comments, just a little opening piece. Take about 30 seconds, and let's hear from you. I'm sure you've prepared for this day for a long time.
Yeah,
Just an
yeah.
opening comments.
for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I've been watching this league go to shit for years, and some people say I left because I couldn't handle, the contentious nature of the league, or I didn't know enough about fantasy football. A lot of people don't know the history of this league. I think that when I joined, I was in like the first 2 championships, got trade raped and lost in the championship. I think I was in one of the finals. I don't really remember if it was 2. Luke raped me, and I learned my lesson. I started to put together the pieces, just figure out how things worked. And then I got raped by the entire league. And that was Paul's doing. We had a vote. He went above and beyond and reversed the vote. I lost out. And so I decided to leave the league because of corruption, just blatant corruption. I was invited back. And ever since then, I've just been kind of, sitting back and just watching Paul do nothing, not writing down rules, charging people $20 for wings and no drink. How much did this cost, Paul?
I bought it for you as a gift.
How much did this cost? How much did this cost? I mean, I think a lot of the league.
Actually, $11.69.
11 to, yeah. I mean, that's half of what those wings cost. And I got a massive drink. I couldn't eat this; would kill me. I just would have wanted half of this in our draft and working internet. I don't think that.
I brought internet by offering my house up so that everyone could have internet.
But we had to do the whole transition, and then Jared got a player, and then it got reversed. Whatever. I'm not keeping track of these things, but it's just. I'll just say this. I've kind of rambled on. Obviously, I'm being ambushed right now. Don't have a prepared speech like I'm sure you're going to hear from Paul. But I will say this about Paul. It is amazing to me, and after Jared's leadership rankings, I had to think about this. It is amazing to me that Paul is even in this race at all with the lack of... He's running Joe Biden's 2020 do nothing, hide in the basement campaign, and it's working. I mean, this is his first appearance, and I think it's neck and neck right now. I think the polls, if you were to poll the league, it's probably 50-50, and Paul has done nothing. He's offered nothing. He consistently... just makes the worst decisions over and over. And so I don't know what it is about me that the league doesn't want written rules, doesn't want cheap
They don't want a
food,
dictator.
doesn't want internet at the draft, doesn't want to see Jared and Luke just raping the league constantly with rules and things getting overturned by Paul. I mean, it's a Sewell shit show. That is what this league is, and it needs change.
So you're just against me and Luke here.
I'm against the center, what I call the center cabal. You know, you got Trenton,
Trenton as
you
well.
got
Okay.
Luke, you got Paul, you got Jamike's in there too. He
Is
acts
Colby
like-
in there?
Yeah, what about Colby?
Colby, yeah, I put him in there.
Okay.
He's a mover and shaker. If Colby doesn't want something to happen, it's not going to happen.
What about JT?
Yeah, he's in there. Yeah, he's in there.
Just to get that straight.
I'm anonymous. I just wanted to say I stand with rape. All right,
So do
Mr.
I.
Paul.
I'd like to go back, before we get started, to go back on this.
Paul, I will say you
reversal
look
of the
good.
trade.
You do look good.
Thank you, Word.
Yeah.
You do too, man.
I stink. I really smell bad, and this is a small
I
room.
came here. I just want to say, I came here tonight to offer a peace offering. I want
Rejected.
this league to grow. I don't want you to quit again.
I want the league to grow
I
too.
want you to stay in the league.
Yeah.
And on that trade was reversed,
Mm-hmm.
it's because you went to every league member asking them to vote against it.
Yeah, I
And
did.
because you accepted a trade,
I did.
and then instantly regretted it. How do we know you're not going to do that as the league commissioner?
Is that Ham 2.0?
Oh,
or
yeah.
Ham 1.0?
I mean,
That was
he
Ham
literally
1.0.
quit the league because he got mad because he made a trade. He didn't like the results of the trade, so he went to everyone to ask them to get rid of the trade.
Yes.
And
100% I did. And here's why. I was operating within the rules of the app. At the time, we played in a league where it was all run off ESPN. There was no extra
Collusion.
rules.
It had to be
We
collusion.
didn't have, I don't even think we were using Fab back then. Maybe we were. But anyway.
Fab was a great choice. That was-
We were allowed to veto trades for any reason at the
Collusion.
time. No,
Veto
for any.
trades for collusion.
Here's the thing. This is where we get to the crux of the whole entire issue, which is there are no written rules.
Actually, there are.
There were not at the time. There were not rules at the time.
Going on that, you were right. We needed written rules.
I'm always right.
Not always. But we needed written rules. And I wrote down the rules. I've got 30-something rules I've been working on since you mentioned that we needed written rules.
Congratulations. You've done what you should have been doing
You're right.
for
I'm
10
not-
years.
You're right.
Everyone, let's
There
get
should-
pause.
there
Let's
should have
get
been
Paul.
written rules. For 10 years, there should have
Let's
been
give him
written
a round of applause.
We've been a part of this league. 2015,
Yeah.
we should have had written rules in 2015.
Yeah.
You were right.
So back to me being right. I made a trade and I wanted to see how Luke was going to react because I knew from talking to other people that he'd been moving around. So I accepted the trade knowing full well within the league, within the app, I could easily veto this trade if I didn't want to see it through. Trade goes through. Luke pops up another trade. And so to totally derail Luke's team, I go around and get the trade vetoed. Now, this does totally derail Luke's team. He had a crappy team before, which he always does because he can't draft. I don't know why. Then Paul, we had the veto. It happened, and then Paul came around outside of the app, reversed it, and I mean, I think I came second to last. I don't think Luke won. Did you win? Luke might have won the league.
It'd be an asterisk.
Regardless, I was playing within the rules of the app, which were the only rules at the time, and Paul went outside of that for his brother, for one of the Sewells, and got rid of just a normal, like that was a play. That was my play. I wasn't going to win on the trade, so I'm going to win on the trade veto.
What he's not bringing up is I didn't make that decision solely alone. The trade committee and I made that decision, and that's when I reversed it.
Did I vote on who the trade committee was? Who voted on who was in the trade
That's
committee?
been a while, or that's hard to remember.
It's hard to remember because it was never written down. There's no record of it. It's almost like you got
So
your
how do I know
buddies.
you're not fabricating this
it's
as well?
I mean, everyone knows the story. Luke has corroborated it. You just corroborated it by talking about it earlier. It's a well-known story. I mean, I don't have much more to say on that except that Paul has proven to be an incapable leader. He's proven to be corruptible, and I don't know what else. I think it's sad that this race is even this close.
I, as your commissioner, I don't decide on things alone. I'm not a dictator. I listen to the trade committee. They make decisions. That is why I'm not part of the trade committee, so that I don't have too much power. I don't want to have too much power because I want to be a commissioner for the people and listen to what you have to say. That's why Wert's right. We should have had written rules. Yes, absolutely. That's why I've written rules. That's why I've spent time. I'm up to like 30-something rules so far. I'm sure I'm missing some, so that's why we as a league need to look at these, make sure they're correct, and fix them.
Can you kind of tell us any of the rules that you remember? Oh, do you have them?
I do. I have them on
Just
my
a few.
phone.
Just a few that may be important.
One that, I don't know if the league is going to go with it, but I think you should be American born to be commissioner. That is one that,
We'll have to put it to a vote, and we'll see what the league says.
keepers can only be kept for 2 years. Managers cannot keep the same 2 players consecutive years. And I put an example in there. Each year a keeper's kept, the value increases by $5, which we've debated on that. We could change that. That could be amended.
What does it take to be
Dropping players in anger, disgust, or attempt of collusion is subject to immediate removal from the league. 2/3 league vote must be achieved for removal from the league.
I'm just going to stop here. I don't think this is good content for the league. Let's just post the rules. Everyone can look at it. We don't need to read them all through.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm glad. I will say, good job, Paul. Thank you for writing the
Have
rules.
you been writing the rules for it? I mean, as a commissioner, wanting to be a commissioner, I would think that
My
you would be doing some
administration
things,
has
to try and be commissioner writing
constitution.
rules.
My administration has a constitution, and when we take office, we will provide the written rules to everyone to be voted on. That's how it
So
should
have
work
you been working on that?
in a democracy. Yes, I have. My administration has
Can you
written
prove
rules.
that? Can you show your rules?
I don't have them there at my house. I didn't know any of this was happening
We're
today.
gonna move on here. We got a few
Thank
questions.
you. All right.
So we're gonna kind of get into the questions. We'll ask each one of you. You'll both have a chance to answer. These are some lighthearted, some maybe a little more serious. We just want to kind of get to know you more as league members and potential commissioners. So one of the questions I have, Paul, we'll start with you. If you have to form an alliance, okay? Who's your fantasy football sidekick and why? And it has to be somebody in this league.
My sidekick.
So think of it as your vice president.
Basically, a vice commissioner. Yeah.
Who would I like for it to be?
Yeah, somebody in this league. Yes.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
I actually, hear me out. I think Wirt has good ideas.
I knew he was gonna say
I
this.
think he's too much of a dictator to be a leader, but he would be a great secretary.
Too much of a dictator to be the only person in this league advocating for democracy, i.e., votes. Let's have a vote for commissioner. Paul has never done that.
All right, Wirt, same question to you.
I did know Paul. I just could see it. I mean, I can read Paul like a book. It's just obvious. All the tools, really. I just point back to those when we were all playing Mafia, and I instantly knew JT and Luke were it. It's just a gift I have. My sidekick, I'll give you a truthful answer unlike Paul's contrived one. It would be Luke, because Luke's always scheming, and I'm not really a big trader, and Luke's, I feel like, always trading. Trent's always trading, but it's never, they're always questionable. You always look at Trent's trade, you wonder, did Trent rape himself? And so I think I'd have to go, I like Luke's trades, I think it'd be Luke.
All right, thank you.
Or JT, because he's got all that insider info.
Paul, would you like to let's go to back to that. If you couldn't choose Wirt, like a different one out of the 10, who would you choose as your vice president to help lead this league into greatness?
If JT was closer, I think JT would be a great commissioner or assistant commissioner. Unfortunately, you know, with him being part of the Patriots and traveling all the time, he doesn't get to devote his time as much. But I think JT is pretty smart. I think he's got pretty good leadership technique, as Jared said earlier. But I think JT would be pretty wise as assistant commissioner.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that. Let's see here. We'll go with you. Where do you see this league in 3 years?
I see written rules. I see me as a commissioner, and I see a league where last minute tanking and trades don't exist, not because they've been outlawed, but because we've made incentives to keep people involved in the league. Right now, we've got people checking out, people blowing up their teams for keeper value. I think the trade deadline needs to be moved. I'd like to vote on it. I think we need to do more with fab budgets. I think we need to incentivize people. Maybe, I think I posed this in the group the other day. You get an extra $5 off a keeper if you win the, ball sack bowl, whatever we're calling the people that don't make playoffs.
Yeah.
And maybe just more than just money, because right now, like I said, you got people. I mean, I haven't really checked the app. I do want to beat Cody, and I plan on beating Cody this week, but I mean, I have not been as involved as I think I should be. And I think it'd be more fun if we're just in it until the end.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. I like the idea of maybe, we have the punishment for the over the season because that matters the most. But maybe we do either a reward for the winner or a punishment for the loser of the losers bracket tourney. You know what I mean? Like to keep people engaged throughout the losers bracket tournament too. So something. I like that.
And we actually punish losers. That would be another. That'd be something
We've
else
got a
I'd like to
Punisher.
do.
Unfortunately, he's lost.
Well, we have a commissioner who doesn't enforce the Punisher. You know what I mean? Like we got this Punisher just punishing, but he's not punishing the people we need to be punished.
Did
so
you call Waffle House when Ham?
I was there. I was sitting there with Jared.
Did you
We
stay
were
all
the only
night?
two. I'm not getting punished.
Right.
I stayed to make sure that Ham was doing some sort of his punishment. And
Right, and I called Waffle House to actually ask if he let.
All right, we'll have to cut you off. This is Shane. We have a third party on the ballot.
Okay.
wow, okay.
Eli would like to formally make it into the league commissioner ballot as independent. # unbiased.
I like it, Eli.
All right, we do need to move on. We got different questions. I think we've heard y'all two go at each other's throats all night. All right, the next one. So we've talked about what we see in 3 years. Are you open to expanding to 14 teams or decreasing to 10? All right, so to start it, are you open to expanding to 14 teams in the league?
Well, I'm open to it if the league wants to do it. Personally,
I want personal opinions here. Obviously, both of you are going to say it goes to a vote.
Paul doesn't have an answer. Can I go?
no. I do not want us to go to 14 teams. I think that's too many. I think the waiver wires are already bare. I think, first off, we should actually look at decreasing how many people we can hold on our benches, because there's nothing on the waiver wire, which you can look at it two ways. That's for people who do the research, but also you got people who just keep people all the time on their bench, and you can't. I mean, for people who are looking to find a running back for a week, they can't find anything because our benches are just riddled with people. Maybe increasing an IR spot, so having 2 IR spots instead of 1. That way, if you've got somebody injured or 2, you can pick somebody up, but our benches are not so full.
Thank you very much for your answer.
That's
All right,
one of
Wirt.
the coolest stories I've ever heard. I would like to see the league expand to 20 teams, and we talk about relegation. We have a whole separate under league playing in a 10-team, so 2 10-team leagues, and we've got, you can either win the bottom league and be promoted or relegated down. Also, the whole thing about losing bench spots. Does anyone remember what happened first week of this league? The waiver wire activity?
Isaiah Likely.
I might have spent $152 on Isaiah Likely.
150.
I might have spent $152 on Isaiah Likely, leaving me with basically no money to get anyone off the waiver wire. So Paul's talking about not having bench spots. I got Isaiah Garendo
I can't help your decision making.
off with no fab. I got if I was in the playoffs, he would help me somewhat. A decent waiver wire ad, right? Just knowing that the 49ers are just insanely injury prone. I was like, I'm just going to hold on to the third string running back. I hear this guy's good. At least, I mean, I heard like him as a deep sleeper at the start of the league, so I'm just going to hold on to him. Worked out. and I got Chris Godwin keeper value for $0 off the waiver wire. So it can be done if you know what you're doing. But yeah, I'd like to see the league expanded. We talked about significant other league. I think that'd be funny. I don't know how we'd police other, their husbands doing things for them, but if they're interested, I think it'd be interesting. I think it'd be funny.
I think they're pretty interested. I think all the significant
I think
others.
that's going to be a good. I think that's going to happen next year.
Funny.
Initial polls have been really positive, so yeah, we'll probably do that. And it'll be an honored code style, I'm sure. Just no draft help.
Yeah.
No, just the only thing that we would do as an honored code between us as a league would be, hey, just remind her to set her lineup. Pick people off waivers. Can't tell who it is. Just make sure that the lineups are set to make sure that the league stays competitive.
What do we do about Jamike's boyfriend? Because that's like a whole how do we police that?
What about Dan's imaginary girlfriend?
That too. I am concerned about that.
He's losing voters, but he's going. All right. So another one. The current playoff. We are in the playoffs. Current playoff format. What are our thoughts on that? Do we like it? Do we not like it? So currently we have a 6. The top 6 make the playoffs. The top 2 teams get the first round bye. What are our thoughts on that? We'll start with you.
I think more people in the playoff is a more exciting league. I like upsets. I like underdog stories. My team should have been in the playoffs this year. Just kind of got shafted. Injuries. Not going to go on and on about all that. But I would like to see more people in the playoffs. But I think back to my points on expanding the league, having more incentives for staying involved in the league. I think if we do things like that, it'll be more fun for people that might not make the playoffs. So I'm neutral personally. I would have liked to see more playoff spots, but
What would you think? Like eight playoff spots, or even more? I mean, we only have 12 right now in the league, but if you expanded it to 14,
yeah, I don't have a number that I prefer.
Just
I
expand it.
don't have a number that I prefer. I do think it's a little small right now.
Okay, Paul.
You could technically go just like the college football playoff, top 4 seeds get a bye, and then let everybody be in the playoffs. It'd be kind of difficult. You'd have to add incentives for being top 4 in the league besides just a bye. Personally, though, I like the 6-team playoff.
I mean, you can think about what about the home field advantage, where if you're the higher seed, you get
a point or you get
plus
points.
10 points
Yeah.
or something like that. Those are all
definitely
ideas.
good open for discussion. Look, I'm looking at Sean's question about the waiver wires, and he's right. It was crap, and that's why I've been pushing for us to go to Sleeper. You can control things a little bit better through Sleeper. I can control when waivers open a little bit better. All of that, like you said, you're right. It was crap this year, but that's something that we've got to fix, and that's why I'd like for us to have another vote on the Sleeper app. I think it's a little better platform. I can do more as a commissioner with controlling things and opening things up and keeping them. So you're right, but you're right. It was crap this year. I think Luke had Jordan Mason, and I had to take him off of his team because he did it before it opened up. Which, as Wirt would say, that would be me colluding with my brother, but I actually hurt him by taking him away and gave him to Colby ended up getting him and helped Colby actually make the playoffs.
So knowing this, is this in your rules? Did you write this down in your rules?
Yes.
Okay.
So talking about Sleeper for a little bit, I know that's been a topic of discussion here for past couple of years. Question for both of you: if you're elected, how would you deal with Cody's tantrum that he would throw if you try to go to Sleeper?
Yeah. What would be because Cody is vital to this league. I mean, he is the lifeblood. We can't lose Cody. So how do you keep him engaged? What do you do? What do you say?
Cody's
to him?
reasonable if you explain it to him. Cody knows, and Cody's going to listen to us as a group if we're all like, hey, Cody, this is what's best for the league. He's going to follow and listen, and I think Cody's understands that, hey, that's, and plus, maybe Cody needs somebody to kind of show him how to get through the app because it can be a little more, there's a little bit more to it because there's so much going on in Sleeper. So, if I need to, I can drive to Birmingham and show Cody.
Yeah, it sounds like Paul just wants to hold Cody's, hand and show him how to work sleeper. I think it's personally insulting to Cody. I think Cody can figure it out. I think Cody's a better gamer than Paul. I think he's better with technology. I've seen Paul. I've seen him on the sticks. I personally
claim to be a
think
good gamer.
I think I could just, whatever Paul's playing, I could beat him at. But I will say I've been on the campaign trail. Paul has not. I've talked to Cody about the specific issue, and he is perfectly happy to move to sleeper. I think everyone was against it at one time. I was against it at one time, but
That was a good idea from your commissioner
seeing an idea that was not executed at all by the commissioner.
We voted on it.
And
I can't force
I
something on
think-
everyone.
I think that maybe if we had more time, and this actually brings me to another idea I have. I think we need another group chat for league rules, because right now we have group chat that gets spammed. Cody's
Pokemon Go.
throwing stickers in the chat, which I don't have a problem with, but sometimes it's hard to keep track of what's going on in the league. So I think if we have a chat specifically for rules and league business, and just polls are voted on, I think we could maybe organize the league a little better, know what's going on. But to your question, I don't think Cody's some sort of child. I think he's perfectly able to accept us moving to sleeper.
All right, thank you both for your answers. I know it's been a little while since you've eaten, so please feel free to.
I'm a
grab in on
machine.
the-
I don't need any food. I can just go power
Okay.
through.
Well, we didn't
I
want
was
you to-
born for this.
Okay.
I was born
I didn't
for
want
this
you to
moment.
think you couldn't eat your burger in
Nah,
front
I'm
of
good.
us.
I'm good.
All right. So my question is, what do you have in mind for the July party? How are we going to make this shebang special with the league getting together in July? Second weekend of July, everybody.
Well, of course, we're going to play lots of volleyball. The league, we're going to have, unfortunately, sorry, Mike, you're going to be in a cage. We're following through with Cody's punishments that week as well, which is going to be great.
Where would we go? What do you think? What's your idea? What do you think? If it was up to you, what would we do?
Well, as you can tell, I'm not much of a beach guy, but I think the league would enjoy the beach. I think that's everybody's kind of speed. I think works from the Bahamas. He loves the beach, I'm sure.
Not really.
You
I
love
like
to be out in the
I
water.
like to snorkel. I like to fish. I don't like the beach.
Well, I think that the beach is probably going to be the most fun for everybody. We're going to get the most bang for our buck there. We can get a house. We can all hang out. Eli's coming. I hope we're going to have a crawfish broil. I think the beach is going to be the best for all of us.
I was appointed treasurer this year, not by my choice. It was thrust upon me, but I rose to the occasion. I collected everyone's dues, and I've kept those dues. But what I was not given as treasurer of the league, which is odd to me, is a look at the league's finances. Luke is sort of and this gets back to this whole the media, the swamp that we're dealing with here in center. There's sort of a shadow treasurer right now in the league, and his name, I don't know who it is, honestly, but I don't know what the league's funds are. I don't know if we can afford any of this that Paul's talking about. My first job when I get into office is going to be tracking down I don't know where we are, and I don't know if we're in debt in this league, and I'm the treasurer. That's a problem. So I'm going to look at our funds and see what we can afford. We might be at Chuck E. Cheese this year, and Jamaica might be in the ball pit. I don't know. We're going to have to vote on these things, though. That's my view.
That doesn't sound very fun.
I mean, if we can't just go to the beach, we have no money, and I don't know
We'll
where
have
the
to
money
find it.
is.
We'll
vote on. We'll vote on it. I don't know if the league wants to splurge, but right now I can't. That's an irresponsible decision that I cannot make for the league.
He was asking what you would prefer to do, not what you
I would
make the league.
prefer to do something that doesn't bankrupt the league. And in so doing, I would like to guarantee that we have working internet, which we did not this year.
I can make that guarantee this year. Hopefully.
I don't believe Trenton. I want to believe Trenton. I don't believe Trenton.
The draft was the only time that the internet has gone down, while everybody was here.
And that is not my fault, Word.
Yeah.
I mean,
trying to
do we
blame
need
me
a
for
backup? We need a backup.
And I was the backup.
There's
and I got it.
there's a rule we have in the Bahamas. 1 is none,
y'all
2
have
is
internet in the
1.
Bahamas?
So you always need 2. If you have 1, you can't depend on it. It may go out and then you have none. Good rule to live by.
Yeah. Trenton, do you have anything else? I didn't see any more questions.
Yeah, I think I'm.
All right, so we're just going to turn it over to you two just for a second. This could get out of hand, okay? But any burning thoughts before we get to closing statements? So we're going to give you time to do your closing statements, so please don't do them now. But just any burning thoughts, burning questions you need to ask each other before we go to closing statements. We'll give a few minutes.
I don't have anything for Paul. I'll reiterate once again, Paul does look good.
Thank you.
He
Bert.
does
I
look good in a
appreciate that.
jacket. I would look like Lurch if I put on a jacket. As I did at Jared's wedding.
I came tonight to really bridge the gap because I think Wirt brings a lot to the league. I think Wirt is a funny guy. I think Wirt has great ideas, and I am, as your commissioner, open to all of those ideas. I think that he would be a great right-hand man, and that is why I'm here to bridge that gap tonight.
Okay. All right, Wirt, please hit us with your closing statement.
Okay, well, I'm here in the first place because of all those things that Paul just said. I think I have a lot of ideas for the league. I care about the league. I think, honestly, I've given the media a hard time. I do think being here, seeing this room, the amount of money Trenton spent on podcast equipment, Luke and Trenton care about the league. Jared cares about the league. I wonder how much Paul cares about the league. I mean, he has not written rules down for 10 years. 10 years. He's let the league go down. I can reiterate, $20 for wings, no drink, no internet at the draft, going behind the back, giving, Jared's been babied his whole life. If he accidentally drafts a player, he accidentally drafts a player. That is what it is. We can't just go reverse it because it's Jared. Oh, Jared.
I would have done it for you too, Wirt.
But I'm not a bitch, so I wouldn't complain about that. So my issue really is just mismanagement of the league, and I'm here to make a difference. And I've traveled all the way here from Birmingham to come here for the league, do this debate. And so I want to ask league members, please, league, I need your help in getting this man to have a vote. Just have a vote. Let's just have the democratic process work itself out. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Wirt. Yeah. Paul, we'll turn it over to you.
All right. And I've written my statement because, I'm not great at these kind of things. But since the foundation of this league in 2015, I've been a part of it all. The good, the bad, the punishment, the parties. But I understand that for something almost a decade old, you would have some frustrations. As your commissioner, I've always listened to what you have to say and tried my best to do what I believe is best for the league. I've never once been a sole authoritarian, and that's what you're getting with Wirt, who's going to be a dictator. He's going to rule with an iron fist and not listen to what you have to say if he feels his way is right. And I will not and have not done that. While it takes a commissioner doing the hard things sometimes, I've proven that I can do that for this league. And it shouldn't be about one person. While the season is coming to an end, I have some thank yous too. I can't mention everyone specifically, but I want to let you all know I appreciate you all, and I'm thankful you're part of this league. To Trenton and Luke, thanks for the pod. Without it, this league's just another league. We would not have the content we do. To Jared and Cody, thanks for the tier list and the creativity and keeping us fighting all the time based on who we think should be where. And lastly, I want to thank you, Wirt, for bringing to the table the issues with this league. With that, I've grown and I've learned from these real issues. We needed rules, and you were right. And that's why I have these rules written. But I don't think, as your commissioner, this has been eye-opening for me in that I needed to step up. And you're right. And I hope to do that, and I think I have been doing that. But I look forward to serving as your commissioner as this season comes to an end. I wish you all the best of luck in the playoffs, and thank you.
Just to address some of the chat, Eli, yes, it is pushing a dictator. I mean, it is a dictatorship at this point. It's a full-on dictatorship. We haven't had a vote. Sean, I will look into the who funded Trenton's equipment. I will do an audit of the league.
All right. Well,
and I will say this: we're all right here. Let's just schedule it. When can we have the vote? When are we going to vote on who's going to be the leader?
Like I said, I think the best time to vote will be at the league party when we're all together.
But then I won't have any. No commissioner will have a chance to actually have things I can't plan on
let-
doing
you-
something that I don't know that I'm going to be doing, and I need time.
You let the league finish out a
Okay.
season before you vote. And when is the best time that we're all together to vote? When we're all together in July.
That's too far away.
It leaves plenty of time. to
Simply
set up-
too far away. I need the league to demand a vote. We need a vote, and Paul obviously is unfit to even do that. So please, chat. Let's get a date for commissioner. Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Well, we appreciate both of you coming in and answering all the hard hitting questions and making your statement for it. You two are very valued members of this league. Obviously, Commissioner and Wirt, just stepping up this year. I will say that you've probably stepped up more than anyone in terms of just vocal and leadership wise. So we appreciate that. Especially here on the Fortune Favors the Ball. Anything else you got?
No, we're just thankful y'all both could be here tonight.
I'm happy Paul could be here.
Yeah, I knew.
I saw it coming. It occurred to me. But I was like, Paul's
They
a
had
good
no
liar.
idea.
The Sewells are great liars. If you guys don't know Luke and Paul, they're great liars. They will lie to your face. So I was fooled once. The Sewells got me once again. Like when they told me Jared could dunk, I was fooled.
Y'all guys have a good night and good luck in your fantasy matchups.
Yep.